Hi guys, my name is Liam and glowing Diablos are amazing. There's no doubt about it. So I decided to get one this Christmas. I've been using my new set for a month now, and in this video I'm going to give you my thoughts on it and if you should get one. Let's go. So, my set has three things in it. A Hyperspin TC triple bearing Diablo, Hyperspin Chameleon LED lights, and Sundia LED hand sticks. So let's start by talking about the Diablo. My first thought was that it was quite big. You can see it next to my other Diablos. It's more the size of the Sundia one than the others. I chose the blue colour because I thought it would work best with the lights. So when I tried it out, it felt really smooth and really easy to speed up. As I did with the Mr. M Diablo, I'm going to compare how long it spins after 3 strokes to my other Diablos. My technique has changed a bit since I recorded the times for the Mr. M review, so I'm going to redo all of them. I tried to keep it as fair as possible with the same strength pulls for each. So it might look like there's a clear winner, but it's worth bearing in mind that when my Mr. M Diablo was only a month old, I tried this experiment and I got a time of just over 30 seconds. And because I use the Mr. M one the most, I've got better technique with it than I do with the other one. So take that for what you want. So moving on to the LED kit or lights. These are Hyperspin Chameleon LEDs that work perfectly with the Diablo. The way that they work is they replace the nut holding the cups in place. This means that while they're adapted for the Hyperspin TC Diablo, they'll work on any Diablo that has 10mm nuts and big enough cups. So they work on this one. The thing that makes these chameleon lights stand out from other lights is, as the name suggests, it changes colour. Quick pressing the button on the side cycles through the colours. So the colours it has is red, blue, green, pink, purplish, I'll let you decide on that, yellow, cyan turquoise colour, green, blue and red at the same time, and my favourite one, green, blue and red but flashing, which looks really good in the dark. So that all sounds good, but there are some flaws with these lights, and most of them come from the fact that the electronics are just not great quality. When the lights arrived, one of them didn't work at all. I thought it might have been bad batteries, but that was when we found out if you tighten the lights too much, then the switch doesn't work, and if you loosen the lights too much, then the switch doesn't work. So when I say loosen and tighten, let me take this off. You can see that the whole light splits in half so that you can work on the batteries, change the batteries and mess with the switch. So you can see the screws there. So if you have this too tight, pulled too tightly together, then the switch doesn't work, and same if they're too loose. And if it's screwed onto the Diablo too tight or too loose, then they also won't work. So we managed to find the sweet spot just about. So the other problem I had was that if the lights are out in the cold for too long, so more than 10 minutes or so, lots of the colours start to not work. So notably the cyan one and the yellow one just stop. This is quite a big problem when you think about it, because for an LED Diablo to look good, it needs to be dark. And if it's dark, then it means it's night, which means it's cold. So when I filmed my LED Diablo edit, I had to go back inside halfway through filming to warm the lights up because half the colours had just stopped working. So when the lights are working, they're amazing. They're really, really bright and the colour range is great. So yeah, and I don't think you can get that many colours on one set of lights on any other Diablo LED set. It's just a matter of if they're on too tight and if they don't work. On to the sticks. Now these are not Hyperspin, they're Sundia LED hand sticks. In terms of being a stick, they're plastic and they're quite long. They're closer to the length of my wooden sticks than my metal ones. The other thing that's different is the fact that the string goes all the way through the whole stick rather than the other ones where it just goes through the end. So this means that it uses a lot more string than usual. You might be able to see it. It goes through all the way to the bottom. So there isn't really much more to say about the actual stick. They're quite comfortable, but very different to the others. So on to the LEDs. Now, so nearly all of the problems with these sticks comes from this. The way you turn the stick on, turn the lights on, isn't with a switch or a button. It's by rotating this little silver bit at the bottom. Oh, there you go. So when you tighten it, it turns on, but then there's bits like here where it's turned off, but all you need to do is knock it and then it will turn back on. So the only way to keep it off is to have it either, you could try and get it in the spot in there. Yeah, this kind of speaks for itself, doesn't it? You can find a spot in between the light bits where it will turn off, or you can have it hanging right on the edge. But the thing is, both of those don't work, because if you have it somewhere in between, then all you need to do is knock the sticks and then they'll turn back on again. And knocking the sticks is exactly what you do to speed the Diablo up. And if you have them right on the edge, then the more you speed up the Diablo, the looser and the looser they get, until they fly off and you end up searching for batteries in your grass in the dark, which was not fun. So when they work, when they stay on or off, you can see the LEDs, you can't really see it now, but in the dark, because the sticks are plastic see-through, the light is bright and it shines all the way up the stick, which looks really good. But so the lights are good, but the system for turning it on and off is just baffling. I don't know why they couldn't have used a switch or use the same thing but just make it click into place rather than just randomly turn on and off at some points. You can see there, it's just a strange choice in my eyes. See, look, it's on again. So because of this, sometimes it doesn't even need a big jolt to turn them on, which meant I woke up at 3 a.m. to find the whole downstairs of my house glowing blue because these had decided to turn themselves on in the middle of the night. So this is all made even worse by the fact that it's from Sundia, who make some amazing stuff, like this Diablo, still going. And yeah, the lights are great, but the switch is just mind-blowing. So, a summary. The Diablo doesn't really have any downsides. The lights are great, but not very reliable, and the sticks are very disappointing. The set as a whole works really well together. When everything's working and everything's tightened perfectly and it's the right temperature, it feels so awesome. With everything glowing and the sticks glowing in your hand, the Diablo being really smooth, changing between the different colours, is so cool. It's something it's really unique. There isn't really anything like it. I would definitely recommend the Hyperspin Diablo and LED set. They go perfectly together. But because of my experience so far, I would not recommend the Sandia LED hand sticks. That's not to say they're awful, it's just my opinion and my experience with them. So, that's all for today. There's a link in the description for every one of these items if you want to get them yourself. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.